Welcome to the last one of the hip opening series on my YouTube channel. Come down to a child's pose and stretch your arms out to the front, dropping your forehead to the floor. Sink your bum down into your heels and just take a moment to calm down the breathing and calm down the mind before we start moving today. As this is the last one in this series, maybe see today if you can go deeper in any of the poses. Maybe take a variation that you haven't taken before. Your body will be used to the movement a little bit more now, so there might be a little bit more space for you to go a bit further. Take a big inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh a big breath out. Breathing in and out through the nose from this point onwards, and then taking your palms all the way over to the left side. Stretch your arms out towards the left, feeling a lovely stretch along the right side of the body. A big inhale through the nose. And exhale, elongate the breath out through the nose. Inhale to bring both of the palms back to center. And then exhale, take them over to the right side, feeling a nice stretch along the left side of the body. On the next inhale, bring the palms back to center and come all the way up into a tabletop position. Taking some cat-cows here. So when you're ready, drop the belly slowly and look up to the ceiling. Tuck the tailbone under and then round through the back, looking towards the navel. Inhale to drop the belly and look all the way up, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, tailbone tucks, and then all the way through the back rounds. Inhale, drop the belly, look to the ceiling. Exhale, tailbone tucks, round the back, push through the shoulders. Inhale to drop the belly and look up. And then come back to your neutral tabletop position. Inhale to extend the left leg, point the toes, then come onto your right fingertips and extend the right arm all the way out. Hold for one more breath. Then bring the right palm down, drop the left toes to the floor, and then spin the right foot out to the side of the mat and lift the left arm all the way overhead for your gate pose. In one diagonal line here, feeling a nice stretch along the side of the body. Then we're going to bend up the left knee and shift the weight all the way over into the left side, raising the right arm overhead, stretching out the other hip flexor now. This one can feel a little bit strong, so just be gentle with yourself in this pose. Then spin the palms to the floor and come to a low lunge, framing the front foot. Maybe fingertips on the floor, or come and place them on your thigh. Maybe you want to wiggle through this one just to get some movement through the hips and to loosen them up a little bit. Stay here for one more breath. Then tuck the back toes under and step all the way back to downward facing dog. Maybe pedal the knees here to warm up the hamstrings, or maybe you need to really bend the knees for this to feel comfortable. Bend up the knees and come back to your all fours position. And then we're going to extend the right leg, coming up onto the left fingertips. Maybe extending the left arm all the way out. Hold strong here, squeezing your core. And then place the left fingertips down, drop the right toes down to the floor. Spin the left foot out towards the side, and then the right arm all the way overhead for your gate pose on the other side. Feel the nice stretch all along the right side of the body. And then bend up the right knee and shift the weight all the way over to the right side. Hand in front of the foot and then sweep the left arm all the way overhead. Go gentle with this stretch. We're not usually quite familiar with our hips moving in this way. And then plant the palms down to the floor, coming to your low lunge pose, framing the front foot. Maybe placing the hands on the thighs, or maybe the fingertips to the floor and taking some wiggling of the hips, moving them in circles or just however feels comfortable. Take 2 more breaths here. Then tuck the back toes under and send the hips all the way back for your downward facing dog. Pedaling up the knees, or maybe pushing through the shoulders if they're a little bit tight. When you're ready, bend up the knees and step the feet outside of the hands and sink the hips all the way down for your yogi squat. You may be up a little bit higher if your hips are tight, or your heels might not quite reach the floor, and that's completely normal. Wherever you are, push your chest forward and try and pull your shoulders back so we have a straight spine. Take the palms to the floor, hips up high, and come to a ragdoll position. Feet facing the front, maybe bouncing up and down. Maybe grabbing the elbows and bouncing up and down to wake up the hamstrings that little bit more. Palms to the floor. And then gently roll vertebra by vertebra all the way to the top, slow as you can. On the next inhale, We're going to bend the knees and sweep the arms, coming to our chair pose. Hold it here. Squeeze on the thighs and activate the core. Make sure there's no arching in the lower back. And hold strong for one more breath. Exhale, palms together, fold all the way down to the floor. Inhale to come up halfway, lift with a flat back. Exhale, step all the way back to high plank, lower the knees and take it through a chaturanga. Inhale to roll forward, maybe baby cobra. Exhale, send the hips back for down dog. Inhale to lift the right leg all the way up. Bend the knee and plant the right foot in between the palms, coming up to a high lunge. Exhale, palms down to the floor. Take it all the way through a chaturanga. Inhale to cobra. And then exhale, send the hips back for down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg skywards. Plant the left foot between the palms, coming all the way up to a high lunge. Exhale, palms down to the floor. Step through a chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. And then exhale, down dog. Press the heels into the floor here. And really spread the fingertips wide. This really helps us ground into the floor and for our stability. Inhale to bend up the knees and step forward to halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way down to the floor, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms, bend the knees, chair pose. Exhale, back up to Tadasana, mountain pose. Take an inhale, palms together, reach all the way up. Exhale, fold all the way down to the floor, forward fold. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale, palms to floor, step back all the way through your chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. And then exhale, send the hips back for your down dog. Inhale, lift the right leg skywards, bend up the knee, and plant the right foot between the palms. Drop the back knee down, and come all the way back up to your low lunge. Hands on the thighs, and sink the hips down. Maybe you want to bring the left foot in. Use the left hand to grab the left foot and feel a nice quad stretch. Staying here for one more big deep breath. Then release the foot and step all the way back to your high plank. Take it through a chaturanga. Inhale to roll forward, up dog. Exhale, hips back for down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg all the way up. Bend up the left knee and plant the left foot between the palms. Drop the right knee down. Place the hands on the thigh, coming up to a low lunge. Exhale to sink the hips all the way down. Maybe taking a quad stretch, bringing the right leg in and using the right hand to grab the right foot. Take one more big deep breath through the nose. And then exhale it out through the nose. Release the foot and step all the way back to your chaturanga. Inhale, roll it forward for up dog. Exhale, send it all the way back for down dog. Staying here for a few breaths. Pressing the heels into the floor, seeing if the hamstrings are a little bit more open now. Bend up the knees and step or jump to the front of the mat, coming up halfway. Exhale, fold all the way down. And then slowly come all the way up, palms together, back bend. And back to your Tadasana, mountain pose. Taking some balancing postures to strengthen up the hips. Bring the palms to your heart center. And then inhale, bend up the right knee. Point the right toes. And then send the right leg all the way back as slow as you can to your warrior three. We want a T shape here, squaring up the hips and flexing the right toes. Then slowly come to your half moon. Left palms to floor, opening up the right hip and bringing the right arm all the way overhead. Perhaps place your hand on a block if this makes it easier. Holding strong and keeping the focus. Then take a big step back, dropping both feet down to the floor and coming to your side angle pose. Left forearm on left thigh. One straight diagonal line here. Maybe fingertips down to the floor if you want a bit of a deeper stretch. And then come all the way round, framing the front foot, coming to a low lunge, dropping the right knee down. Bring your hands up onto your thighs and sink the hips all the way down. Maybe you need to wiggle the feet a little bit just to get into position. Then send the hips all the way back, extending the left leg for your half splits. Maybe hands on the hips. Flexing the left toes all the way up to the ceiling. And keeping a straight spine. Inhale, bend up the left leg and come back to your low lunge. Maybe sink the hips down a little deeper this time. Meditate while you go through these two poses, really focusing on the movement. If your mind wanders, that's okay, but gently bring it back to where you are and what you're stretching. Sending the hips all the way back for your half splits. Maybe fingertips down to the floor, or maybe the same variation as before. Inhale to take it all the way forward, come up to low lunge, and then exhale, sink the hips down a little further. This should feel really nice along the right hip flexor. And then send the hips all the way back towards the heels for your half splits. Flexing up the toes. And maybe going further than before. Inhale, frame the front foot, shift the weight forward, and then step back to your down dog. Bend up the knees and step all the way to the front of the mat, coming down to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, sweep the arms, bend the knees, chair pose. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Onto the other side now. Palms to chest when you're ready, and bring the left leg to 90 degrees, pointing the left toes. Send it slowly all the way back to your warrior three. Squaring up the hips and flexing the left toes here. Carefully, take your right fingertips to the floor or a block. Open up the hip and send the right arm all the way up for your half moon. Flexing up the left toes. Then gently take a big step back, coming to your side angle pose. Right forearm on right thigh. Left arm in line with the ear. Maybe take the fingertips down to the floor to go a bit deeper. You might need to pull your hips a little bit further down here to create space. On the next exhale, we're going to frame the front foot and take it through to a low lunge. Place your hands on your right thigh and sink the hips down. Straighten up the right leg and take it back to your half splits. Hands on hips, maybe tucking under the left toes. Feel a nice stretch along your hamstring. And just breathe through it here if it gets a little bit challenging. Inhale to shift the weight forwards, hands on thigh, low lunge. In these positions, when we have a little bit more time in them, sometimes the mind can tell us that this is hard and we can't do it. This is where we take a big deep breath and we keep going. We can do this in yoga, we can do this in life. So really try to keep going all the way through the poses today. Take it all the way back to your half splits. Maybe fingertips to floor this time. Inhale to take it to your low lunge, and then exhale to sink the hips further down. Then send the hips all the way back to your final half splits. Maybe your bum comes further down towards your heels this time. And maybe you could walk your hands a bit more forward. Whatever is enough for you is absolutely perfect. Shift the weight forwards to your low lunge and then step all the way back to your down dog. Inhale to bend up the knees and step or jump to the front of the mat. Come up to a halfway lift with a flat back. Then exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale to sweep the arms, bend the knees, chair pose. And then clasp the hands behind you, pulling the shoulders all the way back for a slight back bend. Exhale, melt down all the way forward. Really feel a nice shoulder stretch here. Plant the palms all the way down to the floor and take it through a chaturanga. Roll forward for your upward facing dog. And then exhale, send the hips all the way back for your downward facing dog. Inhale, send the right leg skywards. Bend up the right knee and flip the right leg all the way over to your wild thing. Right arm stretches all the way up and round, really stretching out the shoulder joint here. Push the chest forward and then come all the way back, knee into chest. And then plant the right foot between the palms, coming all the way up to your warrior two. Left foot at 90 degrees. Inhale to straighten and turn to face the side of the mat, toes slightly facing inwards. Hands on the hips and take an inhale to lean slightly back. Exhale, fold all the way forward, palms to floor if you can. Sending the crown of your head towards the floor and shifting the weight into the toes slightly. Inhale to come up to a halfway lift. And then exhale, walk the hands to frame the left foot this time. And step back to your down dog. Inhale to extend the left leg all the way up. Bend up the left knee and step it all the way over back behind you to your wild thing. Stretch the right arm all the way back, round, pushing the heart forward and then sweeping it all the way back down, bringing the left knee in to crunch. Plant the left foot between the palms, coming all the way up to your warrior two. Inhale to straighten up the left leg. Then take the toes to face the side of the mat, slightly inwards. Clasp the hands behind you and gently pull yourself back. Exhale, shift all the way forward, crown of the head to the ground. You might need to wiggle here to open up the shoulders and get a little bit further. Unclasp the hands and take the palms down to the floor, coming up to a halfway lift. Walk the hands all the way round to frame the right foot and step all the way back to your down dog. Inhale to send the right leg up. Bend up the knee and take it all the way to pigeon so the right shin is across. Come up onto your fingertips here. Maybe you need to place a block underneath your hips. Or maybe you want to go a little bit deeper and come up onto the elbows. If you can't feel the stretch here, take your left leg a little bit further back. Slowly bring yourself all the way back up onto your fingertips. Tuck the back toes and come back to down dog. Inhale to take the left leg all the way up. And then bending up the knee and take it all the way across for your pigeon on the other side. Maybe you want an active stretch here, pushing up through the legs onto the fingertips. Or maybe you want a nice passive stretch, taking the elbows to the floor and relaxing into it. Gently come back up onto your fingertips, tucking the back toes, coming back to down dog. Maybe just pedal the legs here just to shake through them. Then bend up the knees and come down to a seated position. Place the soles of the feet together and take the legs out to the side for our butterfly pose. Grab the feet or the ankles and really straighten up the spine. Exhale, slowly rounding the back. Pushing the legs out wider and sending your crown of your head towards the floor. Maybe give yourself a nice little foot massage here to reward yourself for all the hard work in this practice. Slowly come all the way back up and then bend up the knees, coming all the way down so you're lying on the mat. Bring the knees into the chest and maybe take a rock from side to side. Or maybe take it out to a happy baby, grabbing the outside of the feet. Make sure your lower back is still pressed on the mat and your hips will just gently open. Then release your feet all the way down for your Shavasana pose. For this class, I'm recommending to place the soles of the feet together and let the knees drop out to the side. But if you'd like to take the normal Shavasana with the legs extended all the way out, then please do so. Take a big inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and take a big sigh out through the mouth. One more big inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and sigh everything out through the mouth. Gently bring some awareness back to your body. Maybe some movement. And then when you're ready, come all the way up to a seated position. Closing up the eyes, and just take a moment to be thankful for the practice that we've done today and in the rest of the series. Your hips will be so thankful for everything that you've done for them. So well done for turning up on the mat today. Gently bring your palms together to heart center. Inhale to take it all the way up to the forehead. Namaste. Thank you for joining this series. I'll be back next week with a new one, so keep an eye out for that.